Welcome, everybody, to the the iBUG Android Insight Call. Today is March 15th, Wednesday of 2023. I know I did that all backwards. This is fun. Um, this is our Android call tonight, and I want to welcome everybody to learn. This is opportunity for us all to learn about the Android platform. So we have an open communication here where we can discuss everything Android, from your cell phones to your smart devices such as your Amazon devices, your Lady A's, your Google devices, your Fire tablets, your Android tablets, your Galaxy tablets, and so on. Everything that runs on an Android platform is open communication time within the community. I am Ava. I am one of your hosts for the evening, and my co host is with me, Hershey. Would you like to introduce yourself? Okay, well, Hershey is a co host, and we have a great entertainment for tonight. There we go. So, Hershey,
Yes, I'm right here. Sorry about that. I was
there you go.
gathering a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And good evening, everybody. This is Hershey from Dates on the Beach, and welcome to the iBug Android Insight Call.
Yeah, so let's do a little bit of housekeeping about oh my gosh, I just want um we're all a part of the iBug, so if you want to learn more information about us, you can go to ibugtoday.com to sign up for the iBug updates that go on. iBug hosts several different events. Their next one coming up will be Friday, which is the movie night, and the movie is The Postman Always Rings Twice. And that will start at 8 p.m., come in at 7:30, but it's on the same link that you will find our iBug Android call on. As well as we have Trekkie night tomorrow night coming up as well. So you want to follow up on anything that iBug is doing, go to ibugtoday.com. All right, Hershey, any other things we need to let them know about?
I think we've pretty much covered it, but you know what? Let's figure out tonight, since we did ask everybody last time what they really wanted to know. Whenever you do introduce yourself, let us know what kind of device you have and what do you want to learn about Android. So we'll open up the floor to everybody now. If you want to go ahead and unmute, introduce yourself, let us know where you're from, and what do you want to learn about Android?
This is Marie from Reno, and I don't currently have, well, I have Amazon devices, but I don't have an Android phone, and I am thinking about getting one, so I'm going to need some help on choosing the right one.
Well, appreciate you. Thank you so much. And I guess this is your first time out here, so really appreciate it. If anybody else wants to go ahead and let us know your name and where you're from and what would you like to know about Android. And Chris, we don't necessarily need to have our hands raised, but if you want to, feel free. I wave my hand too. But if whoever wants to speak, go ahead and just I'll leave open stage.
Hi, this is Shay from Everett, Washington, and I have a A32 smartphone and a Galaxy Tab A8 and lots of Miss A's and Google smart devices. And what do I want to know? I don't have any specific questions, so I just want to learn what everybody else wants to know.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Shay. And hopefully we'll learn a lot about a little bit of everything, right? So thank you. Anybody else?
This is Chris in Vegas. Is this thing working now?
It is working perfectly fine. Welcome,
Okay.
Chris.
Sorry about that.
Not a problem.
No, I didn't mean to raise my hand. I mean, this is the first time I'm actually doing this on the phone. I'm sorry.
Not a worry. No apologies necessary. Thank you.
I have been an Android user since the very first Google G1. Right now, I'm using a Google Pixel 7 Pro, or Pixel 6 Pro. I have several other devices. Nothing. I'm starting to go blind, so I'm just starting to use the accessibility features other than, color inversion and stuff. So that's why I'm here, just to see if there's anything I'm not aware of yet.
That is great. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a wonderful journey that we're all kind of traveling. Some people are, just purely screen readers, and then some might have magnification and other tools. So thank you so much for that. And later on in the show, feel free to go ahead and ask us any type of questions. That's kind of how the show flows. So welcome and thank you for joining us tonight.
Okay, if anybody, just to let you know, if you're on the telephone and you're trying to unmute, it is *6. Okay.
We heard that this is, and then it went off.
Julie, but I don't use Android.
Welcome, Julie. Appreciate you coming by.
This is Renee. I'm in the Cleveland, Ohio area, and I use a lot of Android devices. My tablet, I have a Chromebook, I have an Android phone, which I'm going to upgrade this year. And just like to hear what people know about accessibility features that I might not know.
Excellent. Well, welcome back, Mr. Renee. Nice to have you tonight. Anybody else want to introduce themselves? Let us know where you're from and what you want to know about Android. Hey, Julie, I heard you brought a friend here today. I think maybe she should just introduce herself, right?
This is Sonia. I have one of the things that I want to, this is Sonia from Houston, and I have a bunch of A ladies. So I know that Ava has talked about this. I want to learn to improve the communication between them, with my family, so I could talk to a specific room and all that kind of stuff. So that's my goal, to be able to talk to specific rooms. So thank you.
Thank you.
This is Kevin from Austin, Texas. And I have a Pixel 6 Pro, a Galaxy S22, a Galaxy Watch, I think it's called, Pixel Watch, Chromebook, several Google devices, and several Echo devices. And a Chromecast, and the other Chromecast.
To be more correct. So, you still didn't know that, did you? Welcome, Calvin. All those devices, all those, yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about. But if anybody else wants to introduce themselves. All right. And anybody else wants to introduce themselves? Say hi. Where you're from? What would you like to know about Android? Any devices that you might own?
Okay. Well, I want to say welcome to everybody. I see we have Foster has joined in and Brooklyn has joined in.
Good evening.
Good evening, Foster. And we're just asking, what would you like to know about Android, and who are you and where are you from?
All right. Well, my name is Foster Brown. I'm from Houston, Texas. And I don't know. The thing I want to know is what's the latest and greatest?
There we
I
go.
think we all made it to the right meeting tonight.
Yeah. And please forgive me, Brooke, because I think I mispronounced your name. So, but Brooke had joined in as well. So,
Hello. Yeah, no worries. I thought that might be me. Hello, hello.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going, everyone? I'm gonna invite one of my local friends here who uses
Awesome.
Android. See if he will pop on.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Brooke.
Mm.
And where you coming in from?
I'm from Oklahoma.
Awesome. Okay, cool. So we got a little bit of everybody spread out all from the East Coast, West Coast, and hopefully everybody's weather is behaving.
Oh,
Mm.
okay. So we're gonna go ahead and open the floor up for any questions, comments.
But wait. Who
What?
are you though? Who's talking? Who are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I am Ava. I am the host that keeps getting kicked out and trying to get back in.
No
So, but
worries.
yes.
So let me give you the introduction then. So Ava to me is my Amazon woman, queen, whatever you want to call her. So she has all the Amazon answers. And then anything else you want to share there, Ava?
Well, as Hershey say, he calls me the Amazon woman, and I call him the Google man, Mr. Google. Okay. So,
Those are fun seminars, man. Nah.
yes.
But we could talk about that here sometime even soon. But that's I'm Hershey from Daytona Beach. I guess I have a Pixel 6 Pro in my lap over here. I got a Note 9 I'm staring at on the corner of my eye. On the other eyeball, I think is a Samsung S22 Ultra. And then I think I have a Chromebook in a backpack somewhere, and that's about it. And then the Nest plethora of speakers, thermostat. That's pretty much it. And what would I want to know more about Android? Well, I want to know that what is the confusion between people using, let's say, like iOS or Voice View or even um, Android, and to see the differences in why do people pick certain patterns, such as going to the top of the screen or the bottom of the screen, or just want to see what is the similarities between all of them, because I think the better accessibility comes from everything as has accessibility across the board, rather than picking one vertical, one has it more than the other, and playing a tug of war game. So I don't know. That's what I want to know. But I guess if anybody wants to start off with a question, ready for questions.
It's Marie.
Go ahead, Marie.
I am, as I said, I don't have an Android phone, but I have had one in the past. I have played around with Samsung Galaxy, and I had a Google Pixel 4a, and I wanted to know if a low-cost good starter would be that 6a, because I can get a really good price on it, and would be okay device for me to start with.
Could you share the price if you would have it on hand?
The other day I saw one was $337.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, it's always good to know what's going on in the latest and stuff, because the
Mhm.
prices fairly often change. But I'm gonna leave it open to the floor here. I know we have a lot of people using different devices, so if anybody has some good advice for Miss Marie, we'll be happy to hear.
This is Kevin. Who's who's your carrier that you would get this through?
Verizon.
Okay, so at 337 is a good price. Verizon does go lower at times. They really support the Pixel line, but sometimes I guess because of the millimeter wave thing, the chip, sometimes devices can be $100 more expensive than they are with other carriers. But anyway, 337 is a good price. The original price was $449. That is a good price for it. And the accessibility, you would like. There's some new things that have been pushed out that we haven't really been able to discuss. So they have actions now. There's spell checker built into TalkBack, and they added containers as one of the menu items, and so they've added a lot of stuff, and they've added high quality voices to the text, to the Google speech to text. So there's a few things that you'll be gaining by getting the Pixel, and you'll get all of the latest versions of TalkBack first, and you'll also get the OS security updates monthly, and you'll get the new versions of Android first without having to purchase a new device.
Okay. Could I ask, is it running iOS 12?
It's running OS 13.
Oh, it is on 13. I thought that was the latest. I thought that would be on only on the 7s or 7s. Is that a newer one?
No.
Will it then get updates for 3 years because it's Google?
It's 3 years right now, but because they're using their own chip, the Tensor chip now, if pressure comes and people are not upgrading or something, they probably will push it out to 4 or 5 years. Security is 5 years.
Okay.
But OS updates is 3 years right now.
I have one other quick question. When you get the phone and you turn it on for the first time, the 2 fingers on the screen, will that still bring TalkBack up?
Yes, but now they have since Android 8.1, you've been able to hold down both volume keys, and it will turn on it's much and because the 2 finger, you have to catch it just right, but with the volume keys
but I've done that
down,
several times. It's kind of fun.
You can, that still works. But if you because now you can just go to a device that's already been booted up and set up, and you can just hold down the volume keys and TalkBack will come on, so it doesn't have to be done at setup anymore.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Anybody else want to ask their question? Please feel free to go ahead.
This is Renee. Was the part of the question about good prices for the Pixel?
Yes. Well, I found a good price at Amazon. That's the 337.
There was a article that CNET did a couple of days ago, but I haven't read it yet. That's comparing prices on the Pixel 7 Pro and the Pixel 6a and Pixel. I can't tell because I can't see. I can't read the article very well without my screen reader. But there is an article CNET did that gives some prices from different places, whether it's Google, Amazon, AT&T. I don't have all the numbers, but there is an article. I can put the link in the chat if you want me to.
Okay, that'd be great.
Thank you for that. And Miss Renee, are you on our mailing list by any chance?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I would say that would be the better spot to share that link, so then we could all kind of circulate it and have. If we throw it in the meeting, it might get lost in translation.
Okay, how do I get on your mailing list?
All right, so perfect time to give you that information. If you just send a blank email, send it to iBUG, iBUG, Android Insight, ANDROID, Insight, INSIGHT, and then a plus
iBUG
sign.
Android Insight?
Correct. and then and then this the plus sign,
plus
and then subscribe at groups.io. So I'm going to go ahead and say completely. So you'll be sending a blank email to iBUG Android Insight plus subscribe at groups.io.
At groups.io.
Groups.io, correct.
Groups.io.
Yes. And that will put you on our mailing list. So that way, like, we could all kind of share stuff amongst. And then the other day, I saw that there's like to find us on YouTube, or try to go back. Like, hey, he said something, or he had mentioned this, that, and the other, or she had said this, that, and the other. You could go back to our YouTube channel, and just typing in iBug today in the search field, and YouTube will take you to our channel. And then we have playlists such as the iBug Android Insight calls that you could go through, and then pick whatever call that you wanted, or to grab information that way.
Okay. Groups notification confirm. Okay, so I got an email back.
There you go. And yeah, if you just then later on, if you just send an email to the iBug Android Insight, that's kind of the groups.io would be the whole spiel there. So and then you could just send us whatever information. So you could just drop that link in the body of the email and send it right off, and everybody will get it. That's on the list.
Okay.
Yep.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any questions that they would like to ask? Wow, so shy, so shy. And they told me it's March Madness. No madness up in here. All right. So, Miss Amazon, is that you? I hear Miss Amazon, I think.
Yes. So, any Amazon questions? Google device questions?
I do have a question.
And you are?
This is Renee.
Yes, Renee.
Someone mentioned that they use the Chromecast, and I was wondering if that person had any experience with the sensitivity of the remote. And my remote sometimes gets really sensitive when we try to do things, and it goes way past where you want it to go. Like if you're trying to fast forward through something, and I was just wondering if that person knew if there's any adjustments anywhere for remote sensitivity, or do I just have a buggy remote?
This is Foster.
Yes, Foster.
Sometimes it's not necessarily the remote. It may sometimes be the application that you're in.
Ah.
I noticed that too on certain applications when I'm trying to scrub. When you try to scrub, so either fast forward or go back. Sometimes it may start off slow, and then it'll just go real fast. So you kind of just have to sometimes just tap it so that it just won't whiz through. Especially if you're just trying to say go back like a few minutes or a few seconds.
Okay.
Anybody in Houston have a question about Amazon? I heard somebody did in the pre-show. Wow, quiet. Real quiet group. So I want to kind of maybe step back just a step to where we were talking about the phones and the the pricing and what the phones might look like. I know last time we spoke about, a couple of people said that it's sort of confusing to keep up with, what does the phone have, what does it look like, or how big is it. Um, so one differential, let's just put it right off the top with iPhones and OnePlus, is they have the similarity is they have a mute switch. Um, Between Samsung, Google Pixel, and Motorola and others, I don't recall Motorola having too many extra buttons on it either. But the premise of the phone, or the feel or the look of the phone on a Samsung phone, if the screen is facing me, on the left hand side, it's just a blank slide. If you're or a blank slate, or sorry. On the right side, I have two buttons, a volume rocker and a power button. Now I'm gonna try to find my Pixel 6 Pro I have here in front of me as well. I'm facing it to me as well. Same premise here, but the power button's on top. Then coming down, I have a volume rocker. So sometimes when you are working with different devices, you might feel your brain might do a weird thing. You're thinking one way and the buttons are on the other side. And let me see, I'm gonna hold my Note 9 here that's on the table. And Note 9 again, it's facing me. On the left hand side, I have my volume rocker. I have a Bixby button. And then on my right hand side, I have the power button. So if I'm holding the phone equally in the palm of my hand, my middle finger or my middle finger would be touching the power, and then my thumb would easily rest onto the power or the volume rocker on the left hand side, and then my thumb would have to come down if it wanted to touch the Bixby button. But that just kind of gives you an idea of how they used to be. And so some of these other phones had headphone jacks, like my Note 9, the Pixel, and the Note 9 or the S22 and stuff don't have them. So definitely there's changes where we were moving ahead, and we've been talking about these chips, tensor chips, and this chip and that chip. And what it basically means to us at this point is Samsung is pretty much holding down the screen game. So they make the best screens on the market. Apple uses the same screens or buys screens from them. When it comes to the Pixel side of phones, on the Google side, they're great phones. And with the phones, they offer you, I would say, the best screen reader experience. Whereas in the Samsung side of things, I think they offer the best magnification and stuff for low vision. But some of the features do lag behind, I would say 4 to 6 months behind, because Android is built by the mothership called Google. And Google is the one who coincides and makes talkback and makes these little updates and adjustments. So when Kevin mentioned now we have certain features like actions and spell check and stuff, those features might not have hit your Samsung device. So that's the only delay in the aspects of what you might have remembered even in the couple years ago when you might have bought a 4A or a 5. Now you could say the invisible line in the sand is either the 6 Pro or 6A, and the 7 is kind of the least of what's getting updated and stuff. I used to have a 4XL. It's retired. It doesn't get OS updates, but security is available. So, when it comes to buying devices for the future, the summertime, as you might have WWDC on the Apple side, you have Google I/O on May 10th. And at Google I/O, more than likely they will announce the 7A. Oop, all of the Googles went off. Sorry, but yeah, the events on May 10th, and the 7A should be probably released in the month of June. So depending on what your budget is, how quickly you need your devices, your phones, that might be a factor that you might consider. I mean, we're already in March, just a couple more months. So certain devices definitely will drop in price. Samsung devices, right now, the latest is the S23 Ultra, S23, as far as that. And then in the summertime, you'll have the Fold and the Flip, which will be new devices. So that's kind of the layout, at least as far as my strength in the Galaxy side, the Google side. And then Amazon's always coming out with new stuff somewhere, somehow. So hopefully, if you have more questions, I could address that. So any questions?
Um, this is Renee. I have one question.
Go ahead, Miss Renee.
I was looking at upgrading, so thanks for that information. I think I'll wait a little bit. But since the newer phones don't have headphone jacks, do they still work with the older Bluetooth? I mean, if you have some Bluetooths that worked with, a phone from a couple of years ago, are there changes in the Bluetooth signal that are going to impact, or whether or not your Bluetooth headsets will still work?
All right. Anybody want to take care of Miss Renee's answer?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
think there's some good
this is
answers.
Foster.
Go ahead, Foster.
This is Foster. Yeah. Bluetooth is what's called backwards compatible. So even though the phone may say, well, it can work, I don't know what Bluetooth are they on now, 6 something. Anyway,
I
if
heard
you
it's
have
5.3, but yeah.
5 point, okay, I know it was somewhere. So even if you have an older Bluetooth headset, it'll still work with the new phone.
Okay.
Yeah, so you don't have to throw your headsets away. I've probably got close to 10 headsets myself. Ava knows I'm a headset junkie, so
And I'm right behind him. This is Ava. So
I've been on Bluetooth ever since it started. So when they said no headphone jack, no big deal, because I'm always uh like when I used to really take the bus a lot, I hated all those wires in the way. So the Bluetooth was perfect for me. So
Thank you.
Are there questions?
This is Kevin.
Go ahead.
When you do upgrade, take a little more money and make sure that you get you some Pixel Buds Pro or the Galaxy Buds Pro 2. But the Pixel Buds are just amazing to me. And now they have spatial audio, as do the Samsungs, but the call quality and stuff like that is just amazing on both of those headsets.
Hey, Kevin.
Miss Marie.
Okay, go ahead. This is
Could I-
Hershey. 1 second. I just wanted to ask Kevin a question about something here, real quick. Kevin, did you say that they both had spatial, and was there anything like specific? Are they all cross-platform?
So the Pixel Buds Pro, the spatial audio right now only works with a Pixel phone. The Samsung calls theirs 360 audio, and I think it mainly works with Samsung phones, but it might, because they've had theirs for a little while. But, and so you can turn certain features off and on the Google Pixel one. So you can have it just do the spatial audio where it's doing like kind of a surround sound. But then you can also do it to where it does the head tracking. So if you move your head to the right or the left, it alters the sound and moves the sound. Like if you ever heard how it just voluntarily does it on Clubhouse, but it's kind of like you don't have any control over it. But that's what the head tracking, you can turn those certain features on and off on the Google Pixel Pro.
Thank you for the clarification there. And go ahead, Miss Marie. You had a question.
Yeah, another quick question about the Pixel 6a. I'm assuming that the charging port is a USB-C.
That is correct.
Can you plug in a USB headset
Yes.
and use
Absolutely.
it? Okay.
Mhm.
I assumed the answer was yes, but I thought I'd check.
Well, you have the dongle option, and this is Hershey. Sorry about that. This is Hershey, but yes, you have a dongle option, and then you have anything that would have a USB-C at the end of it would be able to get plugged right in.
Or you can use a USB-A to USB-C adapter, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
But you have to make sure USB-C is wonderful, but you have to make sure that you get a quality headset. Make sure when you buy it that the phone that you have or some version of the phone that you have is listed in the description, like on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And always read the reviews.
Okay.
because USB can be, there's some low grade USB-C wires, and there
Mhm.
were with USB-A too. But you always want to make sure if you buy a third party charger or something like that, pay close attention to the wire quality, the cable quality, and then also with the headphones to make sure. And they have some that have built-in DACs and things like that, so you can get high quality audio. But that's not always necessary. Just make sure that it's compatible with, you know, some version of the phone
Mhm.
that you have or the tablet.
Okay.
And then
Thank
read
you.
a couple of reviews.
Yeah, this is Foster again.
Go ahead, Foster.
One that you might want to check out, and I have them. They work really well. Is a Skull Candy USB-C headset, and it works pretty well with because I have a OnePlus phone, so it works on a OnePlus. It works on my Chromebook, and it works on my MacBook.
I have a Sennheiser. It's USB-A, but I have a USB-A to USB-C adapter that I can use, and I really like it real well. But I'm not sure how it'll work on the Pixel.
Yeah, just play with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just play with it. Yeah.
Yeah, this is Hershey again. Yeah, that Sennheiser sounds like it should work just fine. It's just that adapter, depending on what adapter portion. Let me give you examples. Like our phones have USB-C, right? That the port is a USB-C.
Right.
So if your headphones have a USB-C, you could grab any old USB-C to USB-C cable
Mm-hmm.
that have both ends that have the same adapter, the C to C, and just
Mm-hmm.
plug it in. So if you have a extra cable laying around from another device, that might just work out for you, so you don't have to buy any extra adapters and such that. So
I'm not sure if the cable on the Sennheiser, I don't know if it's detachable.
I see. Okay. Yeah.
I'm not sure. The one, I don't
Then of
think the
course
one
the
I
adapter
have,
should do
I
you
don't think it's
fine.
detachable cable.
Right. Yeah. Then the adapter should do you just fine. What's interesting about Samsung phones, Pixel phones, Motorola, and all them, they have this kind of a dongle kind of thing that comes within the phone and
Mm-hmm.
most of the Pixel boxes, and you could hook up a keyboard to it. So let's just say you had your old keyboard with the wire and USB-A plug at the end of it. You could plug that right into your phone, and then there you go. You got a working keyboard. And so there's that flexibility, and of course you could use
Mm-hmm.
Bluetooth to get a external keyboard
Mm-hmm.
hooked up to any of the devices. So the flexibility is at your own will. Sometimes if you have low vision tools for some people that might want to use the magnifier and stuff, you could set different shortcuts and things of that nature. So there's definitely a personal choice, personal preference kind of thing here.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anything?
This is Foster.
Go ahead, Foster.
I'm a Bluetooth junkie, so my experience between, say, Apple phone and Android, just any Android phone. I've had a couple of different models. As far as using external devices besides headsets, so like Bluetooth keyboards, Android devices work excellent with external keyboards, external mice. They work excellent with those Bluetooth peripherals like that. So I'm gonna give you a quick example. Anybody remember the Sony Xperia Z phone? They sold it on T-Mobile.
Yes, I wish they would bring more Sonys back, but yes.
Yes. So Hershey, what I would do is on my meeting, I would link up my Bluetooth headset, my Bluetooth keyboard, my Bluetooth mouse, and connect my phone to the Chromecast on my 42-inch TV. I would be on a conference call taking notes on my Xperia phone with the Google Doc popped up on the screen. I push a phone to the limit. So no glitches, no lagging, everything worked perfectly. Like a really good Android phone, you can do wonders with it.
Thank you so much, Foster. You getting deep cuts in here. Now you open up my brain. Okay, so this is what I heard. This is Hershey again. This is what I heard. Coming along with, we were talking about what version we are on Android. Soon enough, we're headed to Android 14. And one good feature that I find personally that seems really interesting and versatile, and especially for your creative types, and doesn't mean you have to have sight to be a creative type, is that the Pixel or Android 14, I think it's with developer 2's out right now, but as soon as it goes to developer 2, 3, 4, and then beta 1, 2, 3, 4, it's going to have your phone is going to be able to use the webcam or the camera on the phone as your webcam. So again, how Foster mentioned, he sat in a meeting, he got this conference call going with keyboard, everything's hooked up. It's just like a computer. Um, if you wanted to use maybe an older device that could have Android 14 on it, you could definitely utilize your camera as a webcam. And then let's imagine if Google adds the guided thing for us where it tells you who's in the picture, what's in the picture, all that extra information, that's going to give us so much more independence right away to have our meetings, to look good, to have it zoomed, and let the best picture quality right now is Pixel. To be honest, a lot of people are buying it even from the iPhone side just because of the eraser mode or the blur mode, and it's good to have that little bit of competition back and forth. So just a little update there with Android 14 that soon a feature is going to be coming out that's going to be like a webcam for your phone, or your phone turning into a webcam.
Sorry, this is Brooke. I'm not sure if anyone else is
Go
going
ahead,
to
Brooke.
ask, but I am going to ask. What's the difference with it being what's the difference? It does that now. Like if you're,
Sure.
having a video
This
call, what's the difference between that and a webcam standard?
Sure. This is Hershey. So what the difference could mean is if you wanted to go on your computer, let's say if you're on Zoom on your computer, you could plug in your phone and it would act like a camera input.
You're talking about external, as in using it as an external. Okay, gotcha.
Right. So the camera would act like an external device natively. There is other ways, as you mentioned. Filmic Pro does that right now, where if you wanted to record off your phone, you could get like a gimbal, whatnot, chest mount, and then just record straight to Filmic. It's mostly accessible with the buttons when you push left, right kind of thing, but there's no guided thing that like how Pixel introduced this more recently with the 7, it does the guided framing of who's in the picture and whatnot, and it kind of walks you through it. So I think as an external webcam, putting into any meeting, you don't have to have a fancy camera, a Brio, or anything like that, and you got something right there. But thanks for clarifying. Any other questions?
This is Kevin,
Go
and
ahead.
I don't know if it's all of the features that are on the 7, but guided frame has been pushed to the Pixel 6 Pro and Pixel 6 as well.
I've got that on my end.
So, bro, could you explain what that means? I know we're talking like everybody knows what we're talking about.
Oh,
What is
so
guided
the
frame,
guided
or Kevin,
frame is
anybody?
the new feature that they introduced in October. And so it will tell you, especially if you're doing like a selfie, it will tell you which way to move the phone. And the way I have mine set up is that when it's the right time, it will actually take the picture, so you don't have to try to worry about trying to find the shutter button, which it's easy to know where it is anyway. But it takes the picture kind of like it does in Lookout when you're trying to scan a document. So when it's the right time, or it feels like it's the right time, it will take the picture for you.
Perfect. Thank you for that explanation. All right. Anybody else have any other questions, thoughts? Hey, Kevin, I got a question for you since you have all those devices piled up over there in that corner. What version of Android is Samsung on?
13. One UI 5.1 is 13.
And does that mean that's the same talkback or something, or is there a difference there?
No, the
What's that?
talkback, so the Samsung talkback, you can only get from the Galaxy store. So they don't use the same, they use kind of the same, but anyway, like Braille display support, it took them maybe another 2 or 3 months. I wasn't really paying attention because I had it on my Pixel. So, but the Braille display support, it took them a little while. The Braille screen input, the features that Google pushed, so it took them a little while. So I don't know when the extra new. Right now they're on 13.5 as far as the talkback, and so I don't know when that version is going to change and when they're going to push the additional features. But as of yesterday, when I last updated all my Galaxy apps, it's still on the same version of TalkBack. It still has the same features.
So that means what we spoke about earlier, just not to have that confusion. We don't have the actions or spell check or anything yet on
Yeah,
Samsung.
you don't have the actions, spell check, the split screen typing, the containers is one of the menu items. Google pushed quite a bit, and they only call it 13.1. Some people felt like they pushed so much stuff they could have went to 14 with the talkback version, but I mean they put quite a bit in the last one, and with I/O coming up, they'll probably push a lot more, or either they'll push a lot of stuff to look out. So we'll see what they do on the accessibility side in just a few months. So Samsung could really be behind if they don't do something soon. But there are other phones, even though the low cost phones. I have a friend that has a Android 11 phone, a Motorola from several years ago, and he has the actions, and because you're still getting the talkback version from the Play Store. So if you have Android 11 or higher, you're still getting all those talkback features.
Hello, this is Joel.
Hey, Joel.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi. Hello, everybody. Two things. I'll keep it to two things. I have a million questions, but
Have at
one
it.
comment. One comment. If you're an advanced user of Android, which I am not, and I don't have the courage to do this, on the blind Android users, about 4 episodes ago or so, they gave instructions on how to substitute the Google version of TalkBack for the Samsung Galaxy version, but it is advanced. So I didn't do it. I'm just sticking with the version that came in my Galaxy. That's one thing. And the other question I had was I noticed somebody talking about the guided focus for people, and they said it was similar to that for documents. I'm looking for an Android document scanning app that will substitute for my broken all-in-one printer. And I've had like pretty poor success with trying to scan documents. The OCR works fine, but the scanned image is not framed properly. And of course, I can't see my screen at all, so I can't prepare a document in a way I feel comfortable sending to someone else. I mean, I can't crop it close enough so that I usually find other objects, on the table when I'm trying. Is there an app that people recommend, or I don't know, is there a native app in Android? I think I'm running for 13. That'll help me with a situation like this. Maybe not, but maybe there is. Anyway, and thanks very much, folks.
Thank you, Mr. Joel. Yeah, to your first point, I think that's a smart choice. You could try that, but it does kind of void your warranty, so to speak. When it comes to support, I don't think they'll be more willing to help you because you did something on your own. Removing one Google talkback version for the other. So to me, it's not necessarily a great idea. Sure, if you're just dying to know what the feature is, then go for it. But I would say that from just the trends, the way I've looked at it, it's 4 to 6 months they drop it, and everything's back to normal. As far as your second question here, I'm not sure what you've tried in the past, but Envision AI for me personally is my better favorite for what you're speaking about as far as being correct with the information it's giving out. And the only reason why is I one day was trying to mail something out and had to give the person whenever they pick up the FedEx the long number that they have you read. And I was early days of Envision AI, and I tried scanning it, and it gave me everything so neat and clean. So let's just imagine your address: 123 Main Street, Orlando, Florida 3211, whatever. Like that piece of information was all together, and then your name and other important pertinent parts were laid out equally and differently, and numbers were chunked up together properly. So I don't know if that could help you. I don't remember it having a picture image that it spits out. The other one that is a paid program, it's called Leisure Scanner, Leger Scanner. I remember when I first started using it, it's the equivalent to Voice Stream Scanner on iOS. It's same company, but then I don't know, name change with Leisure Scanner. And what it does is it takes the image almost. Like I remember, I have a little bit of vision, so I remember it taking almost a picture of the paper, and then either you pick to just read it in text, to read it as a label, to read. So if you're taking a picture, let's say a bag of chips, you could see the bag of chips name, and or you could just have nothing but a text. So those are a couple of choices. Leisure Scanner, as I remember last time, was $5.99 in the Play Store. Envision AI is free, and then last but not least, to have a native app, Google Lookout is an excellent app as well. It is made by Google. They have a documents mode and they have a text mode. Other little features that's within there is currency. I think to read text off of a image or to tell what the image is, they have a setting there, and then you could explore your surroundings. So if you're trying to find out if there's stairs or a door, if there's a chair in front of you, stuff like that. And most of these have similar features that they all share. So those three hopefully should get you started. But if anybody else has any more to input, please feel free.
I have a suggestion. There's one I use. This is Chris
Go
in
ahead.
Las Vegas.
Go ahead, Chris.
It's called OCR My Text Scanner, and it's free. And it's actually, I've used it for Social Security documents, and it works really well.
Can you repeat the name, please?
Yes, it's OCR, like optical character recognition, My Text Scanner.
Thank you very much.
This is Richard.
Go ahead, Mr. Richard.
There is also Super Sense as well, and you can give that one a try, and that one is free. If you also want a live person, if you feel comfortable with a live person helping you, there is an app that is free. It's called Be My Eyes, and you will be talking to a live person. It uses your camera, and if you feel comfortable with a live person, I use that one a lot myself. So
thank you, Mr.
I appreciate. This is Joel again. I do appreciate all the suggestions, and I'm sure I probably didn't ask this very clearly, but the OCR. I know there are many options for OCR or applications that will OCR your either a document or like items that have text on them. And I was looking for something that would basically copy, like if I have to sign a document and return it. So I could have a paper document, sign it, and then scan it with my Android phone, and then have it look roughly, like an 8.5 by 11 6-inch piece of paper, like, like a scan, like you've run it through a scanner.
Right. And Mr. Droll,
That I'm having mixed results on.
Have you tried Adobe's products with like Adobe PDF scanner and such?
I did. I tried
Okay.
Adobe Scanner, and the cropping was not great, but I could not
Interesting.
get the button. I couldn't get the button to press on Adobe Scan on my Android. I banged the crap out of it. It wouldn't. I could not figure out how to get the button to activate.
Right. I heard somebody else had a suggestion. Somebody wanted to come in.
Well, you might try Sullivan Plus. It's kind of a non-memorable name, but Sullivan Plus works pretty well for my scanners in my experience.
Yep. Brooke, you were coming in and out there, but I think you said Sullivan Plus, SULLIVAN, the plus sign.
I think that's right. I was just saying it works pretty well for document recognition and now a few other things like light detection and things. But for what you're looking for, OCR, it does pretty well because when you put it on document, it actually will guide you a little bit to tell you how much of the page it can see.
This is Shri.
Go ahead, Shri.
I was just going to give some suggestion on the scanning aspect of it. Two things I would suggest. Number one, make sure there's a good contrast between the desk or the table that it's on and the piece of paper. Like I typically scan with something being in the background as being black, and then my paper would be white. And we all know the cameras are, they're typically near the top of the phone. So I make sure that the top part of the phone is in the middle of the paper. And then I just slowly lift my camera straight up, probably about 8 inches or so, which tends to keep the corners of the paper in the frame. That would be my two recommendation, just from a scanning aspect of it.
Some great advice. Thank you, folks.
Absolutely. Thank you. So, any other questions, thoughts, concerns?
This is Richard.
This is Kevin.
Go ahead, Richard, and then after that, Kevin.
If I can go back real quick with price, I came in late, so I was hearing about prices. For anybody that has Medicaid and so forth, I am someone with, expenses are very, very low with disability income, and so I got to be careful how to go about my expenses. So $120 something just is not going to be easy for me. So if you're on Medicaid or you have these insurance plans that you're on for everyone that has that kind of a tight budgeting deal that's that bad, you might want to look into your insurance, because that's how I did it through mine. Mine is Android. They deal with Android. They're contracted out for Androids, and everything is paid for. Your internet services is paid for. Your phone data, everything is paid for. Phone itself is paid for. You will have to look at your own plans, though, because it varies. You can get everything for free, and they deal with it on their end, and you can get it for free, or you might have to pay just a certain amount out of the insurance. But that's where you might have to look at your own plan, ask the questions through your own insurance of what you might have to pay if you don't have to pay anything at all. But ultimately, everything will run the same. I mean, you can get on the internet, search, browse, do whatever, make phone calls, messages, texts, all these apps. And if you have to pay for an app, yes, you're going to get billed. But as of any other bill for the phone messaging, internet service, and the phone itself, no, you will not ever have a bill for that. So I just wanted to throw that out, for expenses, just in case people's budget is really down and even tougher, and I got new phones. They provide new phones, updated phones. I already have 3 new ones that is last year, 2 new ones of this year. So look into your insurance and check it out and see what they tell you what you would have to pay if you don't have to pay anything at all.
Thank you for the advice. And go ahead, Kevin. You had something to say?
No, I was just saying that I have experience with all the apps that people had mentioned, but the one thing about Lookout that I like is that if I scan a document in, and sometimes I'll do it 2 or 3 times just to make sure I get the best result, but you can pull it, you go to the share and you can pull it into Google Docs, and that way you can work on formatting. If you know that it got a word wrong or something, you can correct it. So you could pull it onto your Chromebook or your PC or your Mac or whatever, and you could actually, and the Lookout, like the other apps, does do handwriting. So it would even be able to tell you if your signature is on there and all that other stuff when you're looking at it in Lookout. But that's the one advantage, is that you can save it to a Google Doc and then you can pull it up and possibly work on it before you email it. And you can do any formatting, change the margins, whatever you have to do to make it, the document that it was when it was in print.
Thank you for that. Yeah, it definitely makes sense. And I know to capture the image, by the way, the sister, she had to capture the signature image. I understand that that's the difficult part, and I'm still trying to think it through. I know that they had an app called Stacks that Google 52 or something, that they were working on something out back in the back room kind of thing. But the one thing that I could suggest just for everybody, just to kind of give everyone a reminder, is remember to go to your help or feedback tabs of the specific apps. So if it's Lookout, when you go to settings, there's help and feedback. Go ahead and put in that feedback, because those teams are listening to you guys. We had Scott Adams here, I think back in August of last year. And, we got to know a few things that no one else knew. I mean, it's a team of 12, as we recall back then. But new features like these, if we need them for work, they're more willing to help productivity and stuff. So, getting feedback that way, and then to maybe even just if you have suggestions and such, to email Google. You could always email them through g.co/disability support. Again, that's G as in George .co Charlie Oscar /disability support. And what that offers you is a way to connect with any of the Google team. So if you had even some suggestions for your Samsung teams that they need to know, you could reach them out either through phone, email, or through Be My Eyes. And so, example, if you wanted to fix your thermostat, you could connect with Be My Eyes. They got somebody that could use your camera on the back and help you through the specialized help area. And as far as emailing and phone calls, you could get a hold of somebody quickly that way. It doesn't have a phone number directly for accessibility, but that is definitely a quick way to reach somebody if you needed to. And again, to look us up, ibugtoday.org, www.ibugtoday.org. If you have suggestions for us, feedback, please feel free to drop us a line. We'll be more than happy to take that. And if anybody else has more questions or thoughts, actually, you know what? Before I go there, anybody into this AI stuff? When I mentioned Be My Eyes, the light bulb just went off. I've been reading along articles and stuff. ChatGPT, you probably heard of it. T stands for transformation, or however you want to call it, and or transformer. And anyway, what this could be helpful for is maybe a task like that was mentioned earlier, to take a picture of an image, or you're looking at your fridge and you're trying to figure out what are you going to do with milk and eggs, and it might be able to quickly give you a recipe. So I would keep a keen eye on what Google's doing with their DeepMind, and then what Microsoft is doing with their stuff over with ChatGPT 4, or I think it's version 4 at this point. So there's just some cool tools, and they're built towards us, the blind and vision impaired community. So always give your feedback. It's never, even if it sounds silly as all get out, it's always important to share your thoughts, because we all might want the same feature, same thing. So there you are.
Yes, this is Ava. I'm gonna throw another scanning app for you. It's called Cam Scanner Pro. I use it for documents like you're saying. If it's a document I have signed and I needed to send it back to someone, it scans it and you can send it as a PDF file. There's two versions to this software. One is a paid version, another is the free version. I would try the free version because before I couldn't scan on my own. But the last time I tried it, the camera, with the new features with the camera being able to tell me what's in focus and not, I was able to scan a document on my own at least one time. But that is one when I'm trying to do documents that I have signed and I need to return them to people. So cam whew, Cam Scanner Pro is what's it called.
That sounds perfect. Oh, this is Joel again. That sounds right up my alley. Let's see. Cam Scam. Oh, wait.
Yeah, it's
Cam Scan Pro.
Scanner Pro.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thanks to everybody that made suggestions. I appreciate them all.
This is Foster. Are you able to do the same thing with Google Lens? Because I use Google Lens a lot. I use Lookout somewhat, but I use Google Lens a lot to because it'll you can scan the document, then you could save it as a excuse me, you could save it as a JPEG or a PDF. But I don't know what does that work with TalkBack to tell you like if the picture's in range, like if the page is in range.
This is Kevin. It doesn't have the guidance, but one of the advantages sometimes with Google Lens or Microsoft Office Lens is that it will keep the formatting. So a lot of these other tools are just made to make sure that you have the text available to you, kind of like convenient OCR with JAWS. And a lot of times the formatting is removed. But with Google Lens and Office Lens, in my experience, it will keep, so if there's headings and stuff like that, it'll keep the formatting. And I think the Office Lens might have a little bit of guidance, but I'm not sure about the Google Lens. I use the Google Lens for other stuff, but they should work if you practice like the 8 inches above, like he was saying, and stuff like that. You might be able to still get a good picture.
And as they're saying with all of this is Ava, as we are saying with all of these different scanner programs, the best thing is you have to try them out for yourself to see which one will best work for you. Okay.
This is Shree.
Go ahead.
I'm just thinking the Ledger scan, is it the Ledger that was built by
Correct.
the VoiceStream?
VoiceStream, correct.
I would say if it operates like VoiceStream, it does a pretty good job because it gives audible alert to make sure that all 4 corners are seen in the image. And once it sees all 4 corners, it will automatically take the picture. And I think it also saves it as a PDF. But it does it pretty much by itself. I'm going to assume that it works like the VoiceStream scanner. If it does, and they build it the right way like that, it should do all that stuff for you.
Thanks, Shree. Yeah, that's correct. So it does take an image. That's why I was kind of giving the potato chips bag kind of thing. So if you're pointing at it, it saves it as either your choice of PDF or whatever format you want to extract it as. So if you want to leave it as an image, you could leave it as an image, but it'll still give you the OCR out of it. Any other questions, thoughts?
And this is Shree.
Go ahead.
Well, and I completely agree with Ava there. You really need to have more than one in your arsenal of things to do, and not just any kind of app. That's why we have so many different apps to pick from, so you can figure out which one works easy for you, which one works accurate from accuracy perspective, which one works better for you, because you know OCR is OCR. Everybody's got OCRs. They tell you they scan the best, but the pudding. What did they say? The proof is in the pudding. So save as much of those, download them, put it in your arsenal of scanning, and try it out.
Yeah.
Definitely agree. Thanks. Go ahead, Brooke. I think that's Brooke.
Yeah. I had a I'm have a quick question. I'm gonna nerd out on a Bluetooth device. So it's actually a bit old, but if you're still with us, Foster, or anyone else, have you heard of the Jabra Elites? They are pretty old, a couple years old, but they have the side tone feature. So I'm wondering if anyone's used them.
What feature was that? This is Foster. What feature was it?
They call it side tone. Should I describe it?
Yes, I have. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so basically, not that anyone here would be old enough to know about landlines. It basically gives you a kind of feature where you can hear yourself, so you can monitor your background noise.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, while you're on a
Okay.
call. Yeah. So that's a feature that Jabras have now. I don't know if all of them have it, but the Elites do and several others. Anyway, these are just like and the battery lasts forever. Like I get through a whole week at work, and I use it for calls at work. So pretty heavy.
No, like I said, I'm a headset junkie, so Jabra Elites are very good. Like if you're not gonna get the Samsung or the Google Buds, I recommend Jabra. Plantronics, I love Plantronics. And far as if you want like a good Bluetooth speaker, you can't go wrong with JBL, Ultimate Ears. But the Elites are very good, and most of the Elites you can connect up to 2 devices at the same time, which you can do. I know you can do the same thing with the Pixel Buds Pro. I don't know about the Samsung because I don't have those.
Thanks, Air Foster. Yeah, it's definitely good choice to have for your meeting types. They do offer the great battery life, the noise cancellation while you are, your surroundings have noise cancellation, and then the ones if you want to get into expensive side of things, Sony of course have their over the years. I'm wearing XM4 right now, but they have XM5, so it's WH1000 XM5. And what they've offered more recently is they have more microphones on the unit. So when you're on a call, it's canceling the audio out around you. So it sounds like you're in this quiet place. And then 60-hour battery life, I think it was. So depending on if the need is there, and it's 230 grams, I believe, as far as weight. So it's kind of a lightweight in comparison to, let's say, an Apple AirPod Max or whatever they call the specific version over there. And then as far as the earbuds and stuff like that, it's about comfort at the end of the day. 5.2, 5.3 of the Bluetooth versioning. All that means is you could get further away from the distance of where you're at, or more data could flow through. So Jabra, again, they do really well with Teams, Zoom. So if you need to make a decision like that, definitely I would consider them. Sennheiser, they make a really interesting headset called the Momentums. They're again 350 range, so they're on the higher end, but they offer you connect your phone to the headset through USB-C, and it acts like a wire. So we spoke about the wire earlier, and it gives you high quality audio. So if you're a music connoisseur, so to speak, I would definitely suggest those be part of your arsenal of, you can listen to your Tidal, hi-fi, high res, all the high stuff, and then spatial, blah blah blah. Add the 360 Atmos, whatever terms. Add words here. So you could do a lot with those type of headphones. But you know, a lot of what we have in the market right now is competitive. Anchor make good stuff. The Comfo Buds are good for comfort, and so just wherever you feel your budget is, just kind of head into that level. Don't get bit by the hype, as they say. Just whatever feels comfortable and in your budget.
And
Yeah, this is Foster again. Another thing too, and I know Ava would love this. The Jabra Elites. Some of them come. I don't know if all of them do, but some of them come with Alexa built in, so you can use your phone like a Alexa device in addition to using your
Foster,
your
making all the folks
OKG.
people goes off, man. They're all going off now, man.
Well, mine is named Ziggy, so.
Oh, you called it.
There you go. But
hey, Miss
yeah.
Ziggy, Miss Ziggy.
Yeah.
Sandia was you don't isn't I don't know anyway. But don't Sandia was asking that question earlier. What about if you wanted to talk to Foster in the other room with his Ziggy and your okay. Yeah,
well,
how would you do that?
I'm gonna say one thing first. Thank you, Foster, because you know what I'm fixing to go buy. But also, as Foster was saying, yes, the Samsung Galaxy Buds, you can hook them up to another device as well. So, because mine is hooked up to my tablet as well as my phone. I just have to make sure the tablet's turned off when I turn them on, when I pull them out. And yes, Sandia had asked the question about how you can communicate with your Alexa device to someone in another room. Well, one way to do it is, and you have to make sure you name your devices, because I know they come up, with maybe Echo .1, .2, .4, however many you own. But you need to go under your Alexa app and rename them for the rooms they're in. So, and then also when you do that, is to go under each device setting and make sure you enable drop in, or that is turned on or off. And you can sit in one room, like mine are called, and y'all will get a laugh at this. I have bare office and I have bare master bedroom. So I'm in the bare office and I can say, Z, drop in on bare master suite, and it will turn around. Then I'm only communicating with that room only. So that is one way that you can do to communicate with people from room to room from your Alexa device. Another way is you can actually tell your Lady A to call a person and they will call their telephone number for you, and you can also talk with them that way as well.
And this is Shree.
Yes, Sherry.
Ava, can you drop in like in two instead of dropping into all of them? Can you drop in like two or three?
I know you can do one at a time, but yes, you can do the whole house.
Not the whole house. Let's say you want to just do like 2 bedrooms. Like you want to do 3 bedrooms at the same time.
Oh, let me see. Oh, darn, I don't have nothing turned on in there. But Ziggy, drop in on Bear Master Suite and living room.
Bear's Master Suite living room has not signed up for Alexa call.
No.
Granted you drop in permission. To call instead, just say, Alexa call Bear's Master Suite living room.
Okay.
Well, if it's
no, because I have apparently my one called living room is not set up for drop in.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, because it's actually looking at 2 different rooms. So that I will research to find out and let y'all know next month if there's a way to do it to 2. If you have 5 devices, if you can pick 2 of them or 3 of them, and I will get back with y'all next month on that one.
If it's anything like Google speakers, then you probably create groups. So like you can have a home group, which would be like maybe all of them.
Mhm.
And then if it allows you to create a group of certain rooms, then you can probably do that. But I don't know, 'cause I don't play with
You can do
Echo
that.
too much.
No.
You can do that.
Yeah.
You can do it. Yeah. This is Foster.
Yes,
Hershey, I
Foster.
got a quick question for you because I know you got, you know, Google mania over there. So does your Google speakers tell you when your phones need to be recharged?
No, I don't think so. And if there
Yeah.
is that, I haven't toggled anything on or off. So
Yeah, mine doesn't do that.
Oh, mine does. Yeah, I have my my OnePlus speakers. I mean, my OnePlus phone, and it'll if I say, I go through my morning routine and that, and ask Google, to go ahead with my morning routine, or even if I just ask it a question, it'll say, "Oh, by the way, you do know your OnePlus battery is at 20%. You may need to charge it."
The Google speaker tells you this?
The Google speaker, yes. Or
Lamp.
if I'm looking for my Google, looking for my OnePlus phone, all I have to do is just say,
Yeah.
just ask Google to call my phone, and it'll automatically know to call that phone.
Yeah. Yeah, mine does.
This is Hershey, by the way. I'm not definitive on the feature of the battery percentage, but that might be something that's also offered via OnePlus's UI. So their connection, that could be a feature like, hey, connect this to Google's ecosystem. So
This is Kevin.
go ahead, Kevin.
Yes, Kevin.
No, what he's talking about, yeah, that is true. When you do your routine, when it's telling you your calendar and all that, it will tell you, especially if it's your primary device, it'll tell you what the percentage is if it needs to be charged. But I also have the Find My Device feature, and so that can aid in that, because when you're looking at Google's Find My Device, it shows you where all your devices are, and it shows you the battery percentage of each one of them also. So you probably can just ask it, what is the battery percentage on my Galaxy S22 or whatever, and it'll probably tell you.
Yeah. It works. Sorry. Yeah, I just asked like what's my battery, and then my work phone is an Android as well, so it typically would give me trouble about which one, but it just told me my Pixel 6 is at 78% battery. So wow, neat.
And just to let everybody know, between Amazon and Google, our little devices, they are coming up every day. Every time I turn around, there's a new feature that it's offering. So it's just as we progress in time, you'll find more interesting features coming out with it as well.
This is Shree.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Shree.
sure.
Ava, would you recommend the studio?
The Amazon?
Mhm.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
Do you get any other benefits with the studio compared to like a show? Besides the show having a screen, does the studio offer anything more than just better sound?
I think the studio, because I know someone that has the studio. I don't know if Gail is still online, but I just like the sound on it.
Mhm.
On my shows, yes, it gives good sound, but I get the show more for the screen, and especially if you have a Ring doorbell camera, that will pop up on your screen for you.
Do you find the Ring doorbell camera? It's not instant. Like there's a delay.
Yeah, I do, because I actually have a Vivid camera hooked up to mine, but yeah, I do find there is a slight delay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
But
it's
it
me,
just
it's me. Pick me,
depends
please,
too.
Hershey. Please.
Yes, Hershey.
I just heard something about the Ring camera part and all that fun stuff. They're going to a subscription, so like on the Google side, they call it Aware. If you want to know, okay, Shree's at the door, and I would have to have Shree's picture or have to recognize that. But on the Amazon side, even for I don't know the specifics, but I've read a few articles that are saying that they're going to subscription-based stuff. So you might have to have a subscription if you want to use a Ring doorbell. So just keep a lookout on articles online.
Ooh,
This is free.
Sorry, go ahead, Free. This.
Oh no, I was just gonna say because I'm part of the Ring Explorer, so I was an early bird with the doorbell, so they gave me cloud storage. Are you talking about that kind of subscription?
I believe so, or at least to let you know that there's an animal or a car and stuff. I read a couple different articles. That some of them weren't as clear. I know, like for Amazon or for Google, Aware tells you Aware is just for people, but it does tell you without a payment subscription that there's a person at the door if you set that to be on, or if there's an animal walking like a raccoon on the ground or something, it'll or a dog, it'll let you know stuff like that. So. There's just a couple of different packages. What I heard is, I think it's May or March 31st is when they're considering it. Maybe if not in the summertime, by May they're considering to implement this. So,
is there a limit on the number of people it'll identify?
I don't know many details. I read more of, hey, watch out, this Ring's going to be charging you. So,
okay, like I heard Google can tell you, okay, this is Shri at the door, or it's Hershey at the door. I was just wondering, is there a limit on how many people you could put it in that system?
In Nest, I sorry, this is Brooke. I have the Nest doorbell, and I have never seen a limit, to the face library, and yeah, so I haven't seen a limit to that, but I do have the subscription.
Is the Nest doorbell better than Ring?
Well, I can't compare it because I never.
I guess it is subjective.
I think it has. I think it's better. I think you know what. So we all know that Amazon works on a version of Android, right?
Yeah.
But if you just want full blown Android that's going to work across that whole ecosphere, there are some extra features that you get using the Google stuff as opposed to say using like the ring doorbell or the Blink devices that like Amazon sells. And I'm gonna just give you a guy's heads up. Roku makes doorbells and stuff too. The Roku player.
TV too. Mm-hmm.
This is Renee.
Don't buy it. Don't buy it. It's all the camera works. You have to have a subscription for the camera to do all those automatic features. That's like recognizing people.
Good, Miss Renee. You had a question?
We're gonna let Renee go. Okay.
My husband is a geek, so we have a Ring doorbell and a Google doorbell at our front door. And we've had the Ring doorbell for a long time. It started to act a little flaky. It's one of the earlier ones, but it still does a good job of giving us the motion sensor. But the Google doorbell gives me a lot more information. And the biggest, one of the biggest differences is when you pay for the subscription, the Google subscription, you pay a subscription no matter how many cameras you put up. It's the same price. With Ring, it's for every camera. So that's a big difference if you want to have multiple cameras that you can monitor and have data on. But I lean towards having both of them. I lean towards the Google doorbell, but I do have a Google infrastructure in our house pretty much, for everything.
That's what I was thinking too. It depends on the ecosystem you're already using. Like same in my case, I have the Nest thermostat and all the Google speakers. And so it makes sense for me to stick in that ecosystem. But, I don't know about Ring.
Well, and that's true for anything because I'm an Amazon and a Google house. So this has really been a great call with great information. And everybody that's been on here has been wonderful. So we're going to start wrapping up our
Switch
call
for send
now.
usage. I don't get to do the phone.
Device maintenance. No, right now we're at 8:30.
Oh man,
and we will.
It was a fun show for real. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Ava.
Yeah, and then Next month we'll be back here on April 19th, same time, same place. And y'all just remember the movie Friday night is The Postman Always Rings Twice.
Ding,
Y'all have a
ding,
good
dong.
evening.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you.
Blessings.
Take care.
Okay,
I
thank you.
wonder if
Bye. Good
postman's
night.
using a Ring doorbell or a Google.